What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise to talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And today on the episode, I will be talking about how to properly strength train. Because a lot of you are doing it wrong. And that's okay, because I used to do it wrong as well. So just wanted to outline how to properly do it so that you can get the biggest bang for your buck when you're in the gym and training. But before I begin, I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you listen to the show, you like the show, you've gained a lot of value from the show, if you could share it and rate the show, subscribe. That helps me get in front of more people and helps me help more people. So anyway, thank you for listening. And yeah, let's dig in. I'm actually going to keep it pretty short and sweet today. Just straight to the point. So, how do you properly strength train? So, obviously, strength training, you're trying to get stronger, right? So you're using some form of resistance to essentially push your body so it can adapt and get stronger. That's the goal of strength training, is to adapt and get stronger. And there's different ways to do it. You don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to have dumbbells or a barbell or machines. You can use resistance bands. You can do body weight exercises. You can do isometrics where you're like pushing against an immovable force, like pushing against a wall or holding certain positions. You can use a suspension trainer. I think I already said resistance bands. Yeah, essentially, you're just pushing your body in a way that sends a signal to adapt to that stimulus. And oftentimes people don't understand that that's what the point of strength training is. In the gym, you're not actually building muscle tissue. You're actually breaking it down, but you're telling your body, hey, you need to adapt to this thing and build muscle, and it builds muscle and rebuilds that tissue that you broke down in order to adapt to it. So that's essentially the gist, right? You're trying to get your body to adapt to a stimulus. So, and you're trying to push strength, right? That's key too. That's a really important part of that process. So a lot of people do it incorrectly for a variety of reasons. So one, you should not be strength training every day, or it's not really strength training. Your body needs to adapt. As I said, muscle is not built in the gym. Muscle is built during recovery. So if you're not allowing your body to rest and recover properly, which means if you're not sleeping enough, that's one of the biggest mistakes, honestly, that I see with people trying to build muscle or strength train or improve their body composition. They are not prioritizing sleep. Sleep is crucial if you want to build muscle and build strength and get strong, improve your body composition, energy levels, and just overall results. That's when the building process happens. When you're asleep and your body is resting, it's rebuilding that muscle tissue that you put under stress. So that's the number one mistake usually I see people, because going to the gym, lifting weights is really fun. I think. Maybe not everybody thinks that, but a lot of people think that. And the people that do think that, they like to go every single day. And sometimes they're pushing the same muscle groups every day. So like they're doing squatting every single day to high intensity. Or they're, let's say they're trying to work their shoulders. And so every single day in the gym, they're hitting their shoulders really hard. Your shoulders are never going to recover. So you're never going to build that muscle tissue or be able to adapt and get stronger. Another big mistake I see people make is they're not resting in between sets. So they're going to the gym and they're doing basically cardio with weights. So they're doing like circuits. In order to push strength, your body needs rest in between the sets, in between the bouts of exercise. So if you're going to the gym and you're doing a set of squats and then doing push-ups and then doing box jumps and then going back to squats, push-ups, box jumps, or whatever, some crazy CrossFit-esque set, you're not strength training. You're just doing cardio with weights. And if you're not trying to change your body composition and you genuinely enjoy doing that, then that's totally fine. But most of the people that come to me, they're trying to change their body composition. They don't understand why their body doesn't look the way they want it to. And it's like, well, you're never really sending a signal to your body to build muscle and adapt because you're not able to increase the weight week over week, or your strength isn't improving because you're not recovering adequately, or you're not resting adequately in between sets. So you're never sending a signal to your body, hey, adapt, build muscle tissue, burn body fat, get leaner. You're not sending that signal to your body. And so rest is crucial. So really, if you're properly strength training, and again, as I touched on before, you do not have to use dumbbells or a barbell. Those are easier to progressively overload, which is another key that I will explain in a second. But you need to rest in between the sets to allow your body to push on the next set, because that's the goal. The goal is to push your body close to failure every set. But your body needs to recover between those sets in order to continue to push to failure or close to failure. So anyway, progressively overloading is week over week adding more weight to the exercise, adding more reps to the exercise. It could be changing the time under tension, which is the duration of the rep of the exercise. So for example, if you're just pumping out like bench press, like 1 second down, 1 second up, 1 second down, if you slow that down and do 1 second up and 4 seconds down, that's going to be more time under tension, which is another stress on the body. So you're progressively overloading the body in a different capacity because it's spending more time lifting the same amount of weight, which is a bigger stress than it was the previous week. So essentially, progressively overloading is adding a little bit more stress to your body every week so that it can consistently try to improve and get stronger and build more muscle tissue in order to adapt. Because, and this is the other issue I see is oftentimes, and I used to be guilty of this as well, but you go to the gym and you use the same weight for the same exercise every single week. And you don't change the rep scheme. You don't change the time under tension. You don't change the rest period. Your body doesn't have anything to adapt to. It already knows how to do that really well. And it's already adapted to it previously. And so if you're not trying to improve your strength and increase the weight that you're using for the exercises, or if you're using the same weight for the exercises every week over week, you're not strength training properly. And that's okay, but now you know. So next week, instead of using those 15-pound dumbbells for bicep curls, why don't you jump to 17.5 and push yourself a little bit? And then that moves. So there's the people that use the same weight all the time, and then there's the people that constantly go to failure all the time. And that's another mistake that people make. So if you're going to failure all the time, that could be too much intensity to where your body can't recover adequately. So, because as I said, so recovery, sleeping is key. Also, nutrition is really, really important. And if you're a new lifter, you've never strength trained before you start strength training, you can burn body fat and build muscle at the same time. But if you're an advanced lifter, or you've been training for, usually it's about 2.5 to or more years, consistently, it's really hard to do that. So if you want to build muscle and you want to progress, you need to be in a slight calorie surplus. You need to be in a bulk, essentially. You don't need to be eating an excessive amount of calories, but you do need to be eating enough so that your body can rebuild that tissue that you just broke down when you were in the gym, and it can recover adequately. So that's another mistake that I see people make, is they are going to the gym and they're strength training, but they're not able to push the weight because they're under fueling themselves. They're not eating enough carbohydrates. They're not eating enough protein to recover adequately. And they're starving their body for fuel. But yeah, so pushing to failure all the time, you're not going to be getting the results that you want. So I guess that really what this podcast episode turns into, I will still explain how to strength train properly after. But it's the common mistakes, I guess, that I see people make while they're in the gym, or even friends and family members. It's like, oh, I lift weights. But really they go to a class that has 5, 10, 15-pound dumbbells, and they're just doing circuits. It's just cardio with weights. So it's some form of resistance, but that's not strength training. And the key difference is, as I was saying, is in strength training, you can progressively overload the body consistently week over week. And you can do that with bands. You can do that with a dumbbell, barbell, body weight, right? As long as there is a stimulus that your body has to adapt to every single week, a different stimulus. So anyway, trying to think what other common mistakes people make. As you can tell, I don't really often prepare for these. I just kind of go where my mind takes me. I have an idea and I roll with it. And sometimes it works out really well and sometimes not so much. So today it's a little scatterbrained Emma, but a lot of valuable information so far. Just you have to listen to me ramble about things. Okay, so not adequately resting, right? That's a big one. People are not taking a rest period in between sets. Doing cardio with weights, so doing circuits, not actually spending any time in a resting. So kind of two shorter rest periods or cardio with weights. Not adding weight week over week, not progressing your strength, and not recovering adequately. So not prioritizing sleep, under fueling, so not eating enough protein and carbohydrates to fuel your training and allow your body to adequately recover. And then, doing it every day. Your body needs rest. Honestly, most people, 2 to 4 times a week of proper strength training is plenty. As I said, your body needs rest days to recover and rebuild that muscle tissue that you put under stress. And usually, I like 48 hours rest. So, what commonly for my clients, if they're doing full body strength training, I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that sort of schedule, or Monday, Thursday, if they're just training twice a week. And if you're doing a 4-day-a-week workout routine, usually it's going to be a split. So it'll be an upper lower and rest day and upper lower again. So it'll probably be a Monday, Tuesday, rest day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that just gives your body enough time to recover and try and as I said, in order for your body to adapt, you do have to push. You don't want to push to failure all the time because that's going to be really hard for your body to recover from, but you do need to push. And so if you're pushing really hard and you're doing sets of squats and you're really pushing the intensity, that next day, going to do another set of squats, that's going to be challenging. Your body's already overtaxed from the day before. So usually you want 48 hours to recover. So, and again, if you're training every day, either your body's just shot and you're not recovering, you're not building any muscle tissue, or you're not even pushing hard enough in order to send that stimulus because your body is just so tired that you can't push and you can't progressively overload. So those are the common mistakes I can think of. I guess another common mistake is bro splits. They're not as popular as they used to be, at least well, maybe that's not true. In my circle of coach friends and stuff, no one does really a bro split. But that's basically hitting one muscle group a week. And studies have shown for optimal muscle building, like every about 72 hours, you want to hit that same muscle again. So that's why usually my clients, if we're doing full body, right, it's 2 to 3 sessions a week, because 2 to 3 times a week, you're hitting that muscle group. So you're getting more frequency. Whereas if you're doing a bro split where it's like back bis, chest tris, legs, I don't know. I've never done a bro split. Sometimes it's just chest day, back day, shoulder day, legs, and they always skip legs, and then arm day, and then maybe a rest day. But you're not optimizing your frequency is very important. And I can't remember the words, but basically you should be trying to hit every muscle group in the body twice a week. And so that's why I do an upper lower split if my client likes to train 4 days a week, because twice a week you're hitting that muscle group and you have adequate recovery in between so you can push the intensity for those lower body days and upper body days. And for my clients that train 2 to 3 times a week, that's why I do a full body split. So that way they're hitting every muscle group at least twice a week. And that has shown to be optimal for hypertrophy, building muscle, and pushing strength. So that's the other common mistake I'd say, is doing like a bro split. And what is not strength training? Most group fitness classes are not strength training. If it's a small group class, like it's like 3 to 4 people and you're resting 1 to 2 minutes in between sets, you're really focusing on form and pushing strength and loading that barbell or dumbbells or whatever exercise equipment you're using, then that's probably strength training. If you're in a big group fitness class, the dumbbells go up to 15 pounds and there's not a lot of rest in between, probably not strength training. If you're doing something called CrossFit, that's not proper strength training. CrossFit is a sport, and the people who do it are badass. It's really hard. It's really challenging. It's a sport. You have to be very athletic, but it's not strength training. There isn't adequate rest periods. Oftentimes the intensity is so high that people don't recover adequately. A lot of people get injured doing it. I'm not a huge fan for normal, average, everyday person who wants to change their body composition. And yet there's like circuits usually, EMOMs or whatever. It's like you do cleans to burpees over the barbell to box jumps to med ball slams or whatever. That's not strength training. You're not resting. You're just doing cardio with weights. And you're doing something hard, which there's value in that. But if you're not trying to compete in CrossFit, switch to proper strength training. HIIT is not strength training. HIIT is cardio with weights. And I'm not talking about like going on a bike and doing high intensity intervals or, you know, the rower or whatever other exercise equipment. That is cardiovascular work. But I'm talking about like some of the circuit-based HIIT stuff. That's not strength training. They use weights, but it's not strength training. Pilates is not strength training. It's great. And if you enjoy these things and you're not trying to change your body composition, totally fine. But if you're trying to change your body composition, you need to be strength training. Orange Theory, not strength training. I don't even feel bad about saying that. It's not at all strength training, and most people I know who do it should not be doing it because they're type A, overstressed individuals, not fueling their body adequately, under-recovered, underslept, overstressed. That's not strength training. That's not beneficial. You need to take a chill pill, probably take a deload week and not train at all, and then get into the gym twice a week with some compound lifts and focus on sleep. Most group fitness classes are not strength training. Yeah. Again, if it's a small group and you guys are taking rest periods, you're trying to improve the amount of weight that you can lift and your form, you're focused on form, then that's strength training. So anyway, I've dunked on a lot of different exercise modalities now, and I've highlighted common mistakes. So how do you properly strength train? Right? How do you do that? Well, number one, you need to be progressively overloading. So every single week, you should be trying to get stronger by either adding weight, adding reps, adding sets, adding some type of volume, adding time under tension, which is the amount of time it takes you to do the set, right? Like lowering the bar for 4 seconds instead of just 1 second, right? That's time under tension. And then number two, you need to rest between your sets. You need at least 1 to 2 minutes of rest in between sets. If you're pushing in that lower rep range, like below 5 reps, you probably are going to want 3 to 5 minutes, especially if you're doing like a powerlifting style training where you're really pushing the strength and trying to get optimal output. The more rest you have, the better. Then you should be following a program. If you're not following a program and you're going to the gym and just picking whatever's available, you're not strength training properly. Because in order to progressively overload, you need to be doing the same exercises for at least 3, ideally 4 to 6 weeks. So most of my clients, every 4 weeks, they have a new program. Oh, that's another mistake people make, is doing the same thing all the time. Even if you're trying to push the strength, like I used to do this. My dad and I had a workout we came up with when I was in high school, and every time we'd go to the gym, we'd do the exact same exercises. I'd be pushing the strength, but my body was so adapted to it that I needed to switch things up and have a novel stimulus in order to continue to progress in the most effective way possible, right? So, as I said, every 4 to 6 weeks, probably should be changing your routine. But if you don't have a routine, you should have one, because every week you want to see that you're improving. And if you're not doing the same exercises, how do you know if you're getting stronger? It's going to be really hard to measure that. And that's a really, really common mistake. So focusing on resting between sets, increasing strength week over week, actually following a plan. And if you don't have one, I actually have one in my free fat loss guide. So you can click the link below to download it. Or just shoot me a message on Instagram and I can send it to you. And then number 4, focusing on the biggest bang for your buck movements. So oftentimes people don't want to spend that much time in the gym. So focusing on compound lifts, the squat, deadlift, bench press, row, overhead press, and pull up, those type of movements. You can add in dips and lunges, basically compound lifts. And compound lifts are big lifts that use multiple different muscle groups in the body. Those are going to give you the biggest bang for your bucks. You're not going to have to spend as much time in the gym. So having a program that's meat and potatoes, like the focus of that program is on those compound lifts with some accessories here and there to target, maybe your rear delts, biceps, triceps, calves, if you want to work on them, and core, right? That's how if the bulk of the exercises are geared towards compound lifts, that's how you know that you're following a pretty solid routine. And obviously there's nuances here and there. You're injured, or you're doing a deload week, which is like a low intensity recovery week. Then using machines and doing like cable exercises to reduce the amount of stress on the body. That's super beneficial. But for the most part, most of the exercises you should be doing should be focused on the biggest bang for your buck movements. Otherwise, what's the point? Because like doing a squat that works your glutes, lower back, upper back, biceps, because of how you're holding the bar, it's an isometric, works your quads, glutes, hamstrings as well, and calves if you're doing full range of motion. So it's like, what other exercise can do that, right? So you should be focusing on movements like that. And then, it's basically just, you should be trying to get stronger. You should be resting in between sets. You should be training 2 to 4 times a week, 4 times if it's a split, 2 to 3 times if it's a full body routine. You should be focusing on the compound lifts, and you should be following a plan. And if you need help with any of those things, as I said, I have a free guide below. My fat loss guide has a strength training workout routine in it. You can see what it looks like. But if you want some guidance and you're completely lost and you have no idea what to do, just book a discovery call. We'll chat, see if it's a good fit. But no pressure either way. Just want to help. And I was lost. I did a lot of wrong things. And so that's why I do what I do, because I've been there. I spent years doing the exact same workout. Multiple years. I did the same workout every time I'd go to the gym. Go like twice a week, maybe 3 times. We do the same exercises. Maybe I found a new exercise that looked fun and I'd add that in. But it was literally the same. Same rep range, same exercises for literally years. So, I've been there, but now I know better. And I coach people and I help them improve their body composition the most effective way and efficient way possible, and the most sustainable way possible. I have clients that have lost weight, and this is the most, well, let me see if I can pull up what one of my clients wrote about me. I can't. I don't have it. But this is frustrating. But basically, he told me, I posted about my client because I'm really proud of him. He's made tremendous progress, and he reshared my post and said he has never been this weight since he was 21. He's in his mid 40s. In 20 plus years, he has never been below 200 pounds. And he's not even hungry. This is the most sustainable weight loss he's ever done. He's working out less than he ever has. His energy's improved, his libido's improved, his results have improved. He's reduced pain, aches and pains that he's had for decades. He's sleeping better. His quality of life is drastically improved. So, I do what I do because I've been there and I want to help you, and I can help you. So if you're ready to make a change, just book a discovery call below. I wasn't going to pitch it, but honestly, I think my program is the best program out there. Hands down. I've seen other coaches' programs. I just had an internship with another coaching company, and honestly, my coaching is better. And I'm not even as expensive as some of these other programs that aren't as knowledgeable as I am on certain things and don't do as much as I do. Like, it's not just macros and workouts. Those are really important, and nutrition is crucial, but I also can read labs and can help with complex problems. And not a lot of other coaches can do that out there. So if you're ready to make a change, your strength training routine isn't optimal, you got these aches and pains, you've got some gut issues you've never had resolved, and you feel like really chronically fatigued and have a lot of low energy, I can help. I know I can help you. So stop waiting and book a call, because what do you got to lose? I don't pressure people into working with me also. But I just know that I am one of the best. So if you're ready, do that. And sorry for the hard sell today. I'm just feeling really excited and passionate. So if you need help, I can help you. Anyway, on that note, thank you for listening if you've made it this far, and I appreciate it. If you know somebody who is not strength training properly, send this episode their way. Hopefully, they can fix up their routine and just get better results, because that's the key, right? If you're spending hours in the gym every day and you're not seeing results, then you're doing something wrong. And you don't even need to spend that much time in the gym. Like that client I was telling you about, he only spends probably 45 minutes 4 times a week in the gym. You really don't need to spend that much time in the gym. Really. So, if you are doing that and you're not getting results, or you have a friend, send this their way. And rate the show, please. I appreciate it. Anyway, on that note, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.